to talk about the actual implications of seeing the World Premiere Pack speeding up. And make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Now, for those of you that have been kind of paying attention, last night we got the announcement, or rather this morning we got the announcement on World Premiere Pack 2026 is actually getting moved ahead from September, from its usual release from August to July, to the midsection of June now, which kind of puts things in an interesting position within the meta now, because it means that, you know, we'll be getting the last of our TCG exclusives in Blazing Dominion, because the World Premiere Pack is supposed to cover Duelist Advance, and it's supposed to cover Blazing Dominion, which means they will have Pumpkin, they should have the entirety of RB, and they should have the GMX archetype all being handed to them straight off the bat. Now, I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, do these archetypes truly actually matter? I mean, probably not, to say the least. I mean, there's not been anything that's been too overly impactful within this, but this does give me some interesting knowledge as to possibly the support in Blazing Dominion might actually be relevant. And also, you got to remember, we just got the recent exclusive, the rank 10, that allows you to pull anything out of the deck and slap it onto it as a material. And that card in and in itself, I mean, does seem like it has infinite, like, strong potential, but the fact that, you know, it's like $1 card here and it kind of felt like a failed experiment, they could try to give some little power-ups to that particular theme along the way, but the scaling of the movement time here either just tells me that Konami didn't actually have a product lined up for this time. They need more time to design things, or they feel that it's in their best interest to scale this up 3 months. Because honestly, you know, the waiting 3 months after, you know, trying to release this in September, it does kind of feel worthless to the metagame. You know, look at how long Mitsurugi got drawn out for in the OCG, you know, and it took them, you know, through the December product for them to release, you know, the support to power that up. I mean, I guess that was a good timeline, right? Because you slam into September, you get Mitsurugi, you release the Demise in December, and you kind of keep the train rolling here with relevance. Now, with this all being said, though, we are still speculating that we might be seeing exclusives in the Mitsurugi deck. You got to remember, we have these, you know, special decks releasing here in March, all right? And Konami has said, hey, you know, you're getting all this new Sky Striker stuff in here, but we're still kind of, you know, pointing fingers at the Mitsurugi cards, and we're still kind of a little bit confused as to how they're going to kind of scrape together a Mitsurugi core. And I think one of the perfect examples for this would be to release TCG exclusives for Mitsurugi, you know, the fabled Wave 3 support that we were supposed to see in the OCG, but we never actually did see. I think that'd be a perfect opportunity to port that support into the Mitsurugi deck itself. Because remember, you know, we have Habagiri limited to 1, which you're telling me that you've managed to limit one of the critically most important pieces to the puzzle here to that deck. And all of a sudden, you know, you're kind of expecting the community to want to go pick that up. I mean, Sky Striker has sellability, you know, especially if you're putting a nice little ribbon on all of that. X-Saber, I mean, doesn't have the power, and I don't think they're going to print TCG exclusive X-Saber support unless they were to make all 3 exclusives in this product as one-ofs, and then port them into the OCG and the Premiere Pack instead of porting them into the tins. That's another interesting possibility to think about, because there's always a couple of cards within the Premiere Pack themselves that we usually see getting ported into the tins, or, you know, it's like a cross promotion, like the TCG sees them first. I do think it is an interesting time here, though, that we're releasing on June 27th. As of filming this morning, we don't have any tin info yet. We have no info on, what's coming for overframes in the TCG. So no tin info, none of, the craziness. And we're taking a massive page out of the speculation, assuming that there might be TCG exclusives in the world premiere decks. And I mean, the reality of this is it's likely at this point. It's just when you move one goalpost from, a major point to another, it does bring some pretty interesting discussions to light on, what's going to come. And I am very interested to know, are we going to see tins this year? Are we going to see, a special import? Like, how are we going to do the tins this year? How are we going to see overframes in there? Are we not going to see overframes in there? They're being very cautious with the overframes so far. Because remember, the minute that you print these overframes, you really can't go back. The only stage that you can go beyond this is going to be more serialized cards and, bringing up the crazy world of fuller arts, which Rush Duel is now exploring because they've already done all of the craziness that they were capable of doing for so many years. So there is, in fact, a timer on this stuff. But it does feel like, we've entered the 14 block for the game. They're really trying to streamline things and make things feel a little bit better. And as of right now, I hate to say this, but as the Premier Pack is designed with GMX, RB, and the Pumpkin cards, and Mercurium, there is zero sellability to this set. Unless there is some power-ups in the legendary decks to, make one-of cards to make people enticed to buy this product. There's some exclusives that we're going to see in the tins later this year. This pack is going to be a failure. Maybe that's why they moved it up, was that way they could slot it out. Blazing Dominion, once again, could still have a little slight chunk of goodness to come, but, my faith in this set is just... It doesn't exist. And it's marketed to, get players in to want to pick up these themes and so forth, and that's fine. But you better be printing on the heels of this set, going into whatever set that the OCG is going to be having. You better be printing RB support, and you better be printing some of the best GMX support that you can manage to fit into a product at this stage. Because if you do not actually make it worth the player's time, because it looks like, they might be moving up the timer here on things. That's another thing to consider here. As we're accelerating the timer on things here, it's kind of coming along. I would love to be a little bit happier here and say maybe we're moving closer to simultaneous releases, but that's kind of impossible because you need the reason the formula currently works is you do have to cater TCG cards into our sets because those cards are able to create an entire extra pack within the OCG for more monetary gain. Whether or not, we think it's positive or negative or we're happy or sad about that doesn't really matter. It's another source of income that they can push into our sets to make our sets a little bit bigger, to, create a little bit more bloat that they can actually cash in, monetize, and actually make more money on. It's the cycle of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's going to continue that way. As for that, like I said, I'm curious what we're going to do with overframes. I'm curious what we're going to do with the tins this year. There's a lot of big question marks that it feels like, we went from super long design time things to Konami had to kind of toss a bunch of stuff out the window to kind of feel like they, were catching up. But I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I just think we have to narrow down here a little bit more on our vision and be a little bit more realistic that, they're trying to fix things. And if you also remember, they just talked about pack configuration changing in the OCG, more themes, overframes being built into core sets. We don't even have confirmation on how overframes are going to work in core sets in the TCG. We don't even know if our rarity distribution is going to change. A lot of questions for the August half of this game going forward. So I know this was a pretty big question mark video. as to what's coming with this. But please take a second to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I really still think the pumpkin cards are some of the coolest stuff that we've had come out of the game, and I'm excited for them. But just like looking at the current list of things, I don't know, man. It seems a little bit interesting to see the timing on this. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.